I will now be reciting the history of the Americas, the United States of America, to the best of my my abilities. So there's this guy in Great Britain. His name was Christopher Columbus, and he was like, "Who's about to pay me to sail? Go find some new land." And everyone was like, "Yeah, fuck that, idiot." And then it was like a king. He was like, "Yeah, I got you." And he gave him some money. And Christopher Columbus was looking for, I think he thought he went east, but he actually went west to ye old North America. And he lands, and he was like, "Oh yeah, exactly what I was looking for, some new land." And he goes back, and he's like, "Yo, I found some land." And they're like, "Okay, well, cool, let's go." And they head over there, and they set it up. And there's Native Americans already there, and they're like, "Whoa, what the fuck?" And they're like, "Whoa, okay, no, cool, it's cool. We can, we can trade, we can make this work." And so they were setting up colonies, and the Native Americans were like, "Okay, this isn't bad. We got some neighbors now. They got some nice things we can trade." And unfortunately, what they also brought to trade was disease. And Native Americans were very prone to the disease, so it was like just fucking them all up. But that didn't happen for a while. And Christopher Columbus, he got there. Great Britain set up these colonies, Jamestown, them, and Jamestown was like the shit fucking place to live. Everyone was dying. Everyone was hungry. They were still ruled by Great Britain, even though they were thousands of miles away. And skip all that. There was like some wars. There was an Indian War. They didn't want them there anymore. And one day, America was like, "Why does a king thousands of miles away rule us?" And everyone was like, "You're right, man. Let's fix that." And they went over there and they threw some tea in the water. And Britain was like, "What the fuck?" So they had a war, and America won and became United States of America with their first president, George Washington. And they started expanding. And the Indians were like, "Whoa, this is we kind of live here." And they're like, no, we fought for this. This is our land now. And they were like, "How about y'all take a walk?" And so they all did. Every single Indian took a walk west. And the Americans were like, "Well, let's take some more land. But stealing land sounds bad, so let's call it Manifest Destiny." So they started just taking land, and the Indians, every time they took land, they were like, "All right, keep walking, guys." And the Indians were just fucking dying left and right. The Native Americans were dying left and right. Because they were just walking, no food, they were just being forced away. And, they couldn't really do anything because Americans had guns and Native Americans had bow and arrow. They were very skilled with it, but there was just way more Americans. And the disease was really doing a number on them. And eventually they got quite a bit of North America. And, they went through a few presidents. And then there was this place, and it was a part of Mexico. It was called Texas. And Texas eventually was like, "All right, fuck y'all, Mexicans." And they fought them, and they won Texas. And then I forgot which president. I think it was Ben Franklin. He purchased a bunch of land from someone, and eventually they got all of America. They had the whole pie, the whole shebang. And things were going pretty good. The automobile got invented by Ford. The assembly line made it accessible for everyone. And one day they were like, well, work sucks. What if we got someone else to do it? And they sailed to a place called Africa, and the Africans were like, well, we got people for y'all. And they sold them some Africans, the Africans did. And they used them as slaves, which is considered a dark time in American history. And they were treated as property. And then eventually there was a big fucking war between the North and the South. And I'm pretty sure this all happened before they claimed all of America, but Abraham Lincoln, he was like, all right guys, slavery, done. And the South was like, fuck that. But then the North just kind of beat him up, and the South's like, okay. It's done, you know. But everyone, not everyone, but a lot of people still just thought of black people, African Americans, as just less. And which is kind of fucked up. But they did, that's just kind of how it was for a while. And then, you know, they went to separate schools, drinking separate water fountains. It was, you know, there's a lot of fucked up shit. And then Martin Luther King came around and was like, yo, why? And then even white people were like, all right, you know, that made a lot of sense. You can have rights too. And they were like, yes, but only the men. And the men were like, yes. And the women were like, fuck. Then the way, you know, women's suffrage. And eventually women got the right to vote, but only white women. And black women then were like, almost. And then black women got the right to vote. And everyone was happy, except men. Men still thought women were just less, but they got over it eventually. And then, you know, society was advancing a lot. You know, we were trading with countries. Everything was going really good. You know, mobiles, music, all this crazy stuff. And then boom, war. Germany was like, fuck y'all. Fuck everyone. World War. We got these guns and we want to just fucking use them. And like millions of... Before war was like a cool thing. Everyone was like, oh, muskets. And everyone sits on the hill and watches the war. And now war is like trench and kids are dying. Getting fucking drafted. Eventually we won, and Germany was like, damn, we lost. And everyone was like, alright, Germany doesn't get to do any of this stuff anymore. They don't get to sit at the big boy table anymore. And Germany was like, well, I guess we deserve that. And then this guy named Hitler rolls up a couple years later, and he's like, yo, fuck them. We deserve to sit at the big boy table again. And they were like, but you know what I hate more than not being able to sit at the big boy table? Jews. And everyone was like, I don't know about that one. I kind of like Jews. And he was like, whoa. You want Germany to be cool again? And they're like, I guess. So then everyone hated Jews. And then they met up with, you know, there was a dictator in Japan and a dictator in Italy. And they got together and made the Axis powers. And then America was like, hey guys, what's going on over here? And you know, all the other countries, you know, France, Russia, Great Britain, they're all like, we got this. And America was like, all right, you know, let's be neutral. Let's sit back, watch the show. And then Great Britain got shit on, like big time, just getting fucking bombed. France got shit on. And And then Germany was like, I got this plan. Let's invade Russia, Poland. And I'm sure one of the guys at the table, the German table, was like, whoa, they're kind of big. You know, it's kind of a big country. He's like, we've taken over a fucking lot. We're big. We can do this. So they invade Russia. And the Russians are like, all right, let's take all this shit, burn it, and then just run backwards. And they did that a lot, and all the Germans were just like, fuck, it's cold. And then Russians surrounded them and just fucked them up. And then Germany was like, okay, that sucked, but we can bounce back. And Japan was like, I'm gonna go bomb Pearl Harbor. Germany was like, whoa. What the fuck? That's not the best idea, but I mean, I guess it could work. And they did it, and America was like, hey, dickheads, you kind of fucked us up over in this little area. You know what we're gonna do? And Japan was like, ha, what? And we dropped a fucking nuke on them. And Japan was like, whoa, okay, we get it, you know, we got a nuke, whatever. And America's like, one nuke, two, dropped another fucking nuke, and Japan was like, oh, okay, we get it, you're serious. And then, yeah, everyone killed Hitler, and Japan surrendered, and Italy surrendered. The Italians really didn't like the dictator Mussolini. They kind of shit on him. And then there was a Vietnam War, which kind of, America was just in there to be in there, and then they just left. And everyone was like, that was a shitty war. No one really liked it. And then there was George Bush. And he taught the Middle East how to fight. And then the Middle East was like, what if we hate you, though? And then George Bush was like, well, shit, we did this to ourselves. And then Obama came in and was like, SEAL Team 6, go get them. And SEAL Team 6, waltzed on in, shot the leader in the head. And Obama was like, cool, I did it. And then, out of the blue, there was ISIS. I skipped 9/11, but that's kind of what started a lot of this shit. And ISIS flew a plane into the Twin Towers, killed thousands of people. It was like besides Pearl Harbor, it was like one of the only attacks in America, and everyone was like freaking out. And there was ISIS, and they did a lot of fucked up shit. And then one day they just kind of went away. So they're kind of just gone now. I'm sure they'll be back, but for right now, they're kind of just hiding. Yeah, that's it.